this week my students are working on watercolor crystals. I wish I could take credit for this assignment, but I did find it posted by another amazing art teacher, and I wanted to go ahead and adapt it for my classroom. So this project combines looking at objects from different perspectives, creating artwork with pointillism, and then finally we're going to do watercolor, which is why I've got my palette here. The first thing that my students are going to do is they're going to begin sketching out the crystals. For that, you start with this line that goes horizontally across the bottom, and from there they will practice building individual crystals, and then they will cluster them together. They will use the knowledge from their practice and cluster at least 6 large ones. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I've added a few small ones at the bottom to kind of cluster the way that actual crystals do. From there, the students will go and go over this with some Sharpie, go over all of the lines, and they'll start doing some pointillism shadows. The finished drawing will be in their sketchbook because it has mixed media paper, which is good for painting, and will look a little bit more like this. Then they'll add watercolor. Now, there's an important thing, sorry, getting my paper towel. There's an important thing to consider when using watercolor. It is one of my super favorite mediums to use, but you do have to be careful with it when you're working in spaces like this, because if you're working here and then you paint there and those touch, those colors are going to blend in together and seep from one to the other. So you want to make sure that you work on one area, go to a totally different area, and when that one's dry, then come back in and work a section that adjoins it. Otherwise, you could end up kind of messy. So the whole point of this is also to explore your warm and cool colors, and we've gone over techniques in class where they've learned how to merge colors together. They can do different gradients. They can do it with water drop, where they drop color into a pool of water. They've learned a whole different thing, but the point is I don't want a heavy wash of one solid color covering an entire crystal. I do want those variations that make watercolor so interesting. So I'm going to do an example, and then I'm going to time lapse. So do forgive my tripod shaking. It's attached to the table, so if I move, it moves. It is a little annoying, but we work with what we've got. So I'm going to come in and pull some purple because I'm going to make this a combination of purple and pink. So I'm gonna start at the corner, and I'm gonna start at the bottom with my darker color. I'm gonna come up the side where that shadow is with the pointillism dots. And I am doing a kind of opaque layer, well, not opaque, but a darker layer with less water than I would do if I was looking for a more fluid sort of wash. But I'm getting ready to come in with the pink, and so that will create a little bit more of that effect. And I don't mind if these colors do intermingle on this one side. So let's load up our brush with pink. I got a little overzealous with my splattering earlier today, and I got little dots all over everything. So let's come in. I like the pink because it's so sheer. So that makes it really easy to use. And I'm okay with the variations of colors. I might even go and add it up to the purple, just to sort of get that blending going. So that's really an example of what I'm looking for when it comes to this assignment. And then we will go ahead and do the rest in time lapse.